guys, what is up? I come to you with another weekly review of Tanaka-kun is Always Listless, and in this week's episode, episode 4, we have another new character that's introduced by the name of Shiraishi, and she is the character that we've seen in episodes 1 to 3 before. She's usually shown in the opening as well, and she's usually that background character, but we got to understand she is the student representative of Tanaka-kun's and Ota's class, and she's viewed as the ideal type of student, as well as idol in her grade year. So she's very polite and courteous, and she does her work, and she's very smart, as she's always topping as being number one when it comes to exams. So she's that type of student that teachers will love to have in their classroom. If they can have 100 of Shirashis in their classroom, they would. So, like I said, she's all of those things, and she does appear to be like that. And not to say that she outside of school she isn't that type of person. But as I was watching this episode until they got later half into the episode, I was thinking, these always too nice and too polite characters always have a second part of them. They have this side of them that they don't show to public. Usually, if you're really nice on the outside to the public, behind closed doors, you're usually a very nasty or vicious person. And when we saw her asking Tanaka and Ota to help her with some papers that she needs to print it out, and she told them to that they can go home because she can finish up the rest, there was a moment where she paused and we saw her face darkening like a cloud was over her face. And I thought, okay, she's gonna totally change a complete 180. Well, the way I thought she would have changed is actually completely opposite. The way she changes is almost into like a nerd. So she's the type of person who can't stand short skirts. She can't stand having this idle look all the time, and the contacts constantly hurt her eyes, so she has to wear her glasses. And Ota and Tanaka end up finding her looking like that, and she was completely shocked. But the thing that I love about these two characters, Tanaka and Ota, is that they're such good friends and they're such honest people. Is that they didn't rat out how Shirashi looked, because everyone holds her up to this high pedigree, and if they were to find out who she was, who she really was, they probably push her to the side and don't care for her, thinking that they're probably very shallow people who only likes her for her outside looks, because she came into high school wanting to have a high school debut as this whole different person from when she was in middle school, because in middle school she basically had no friends. She was always alone and called a dweeb, a nerd, a nobody, and she wanted to change that coming into high school, but she finds that to be exhausting and quite difficult. But the thing about it is that Ota and Tanaka found out who she truly was, and Tanaka basically says, I admire what you're doing, because most people can't hide their efforts and still produce good results at the end of the day. And the fact that you're trying so hard and yet still you're still a kind person at the end of the day, I admire that greatly. And she's happy that they're able to keep her secret a secret. And when we find out that Tanaka was able to find out who she was, even though she wasn't all glamour up, I kind of thought, how did he find out? Because usually in the 3 episodes, in the 4 episodes so far, we have not seen Tanaka interact with her. We usually see him interact with Ota, and then come in the other characters like Echizen and Miyano, but usually you always see him mostly conversing with Ota and those 3 other boys that they sometimes have lunch with. But we come to find out by the end of the episode how he found out it was Shirashi is by her chest size. I I had to pause and I said, really? He clearly said, a woman can always cover up her looks, because Shirashi, she does have she's well endowed, and he said, a woman can always cover up their looks, but they can never cover up their chest size. And I was completely gone after that, because I was like, probably he admired her or what she does, because she's always so sparkly, and she's always very punctual with her work and such. I thought he was admiring her for something like that. I did not think he was looking at her in this type of sense. So it really threw me off game, and I was like, on the down low, as lazy as Tanaka can be, he's somewhat of a pervert. He's somewhat he is a teenage boy, so but still he cannot tell her that he noticed her because of that. It would be a whole sort of mess that he would be putting himself into. So that's it for this week's episode. If you saw it, do tell me what your thoughts on it. Are you happy that Shiraishi is not that typical nice but mean type switch around type of character? Do tell me that in the comment section below. The links are in the description box so you guys can click that. And I'm Kimmy Chun of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye.